Leading and proper?
We're good.
Awesome. Welcome to the Grow House Podcast. I'm Liz Grow.
And I'm Patrick Pope.
And we're here in anticipation for a huge hearing on Monday morning in a couple days here, coming up at the Texas State Capitol.
It's crazy where we're at right now. Who would have thought that this session would be so dramatic?
God, so much drama. Well, and you know, I expected there would be a lot of drama because people's livelihoods are on the line. You know, over 50,000 people are employed in Texas in the legal hemp industry. And we're talking about all of that going away. So I knew it would be dramatic, but I didn't know how dramatic. I didn't know the tricks that would be pulled by the other side and the complete and total BS that the other side is trying to feed just the general mind population.
Totally.
It's annoying. It's really, really annoying.
Oh, I just didn't expect, number one, just to start out with it, I knew Lieutenant Dan did not like cannabis and that he definitely didn't like the hemp game, but I didn't expect a full-on destructive war cannon pointed at it. And you're totally right. The tactic he's taken in terms of getting these mothers and getting these, law enforcements in small conservative towns to be the voice of what he calls the right side of things. Compared to the 200, 300 people that are probably going to show up on Monday, it will be far and against for hemp and against hemp. There will be more numbers for hemp. It's just nuts where we are.
Yeah. There will be numbers for hemp. Nobody is coming out to fight against hemp unless you are working in lockstep with the lieutenant governor of Texas. We've had law enforcement officers come out to say this is a huge step back. This is, putting people back in jail for hemp. That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound like progress. And so law enforcement officers stand with the people who want a free and unadulterated Texas hemp economy. They really do. They really do. But, you've got some small town law enforcement officers who, again, are in the pocket of Lieutenant Dan and he gets to parade them around. I'd like to, though, I wish that I could have said at the Senate hearing, you want to remain respectful. You should always be respectful. But I wish I could have, asked the senators who were hearing our testimony and who heard the testimony of the Tyler police chief. I'd like to ask them if they think that the Tyler police chief is a good representation of the entirety of our great state of Texas, law enforcement, and the population. What are we talking to this guy for? From this town that is not one of the largest towns, cities in Texas, and that really doesn't, make a big difference unless you're living in Tyler. I'm curious about that choice.
Isn't Tyler also historically where the hemp trade went back in the 1800s, early 1800s or late 1800s?
No, I think you're confusing that with what's happening today. Is in Tyler, they're trying to make it the industrial hemp capital, and that's Taylor, Texas.
Oh,
yeah, that's Taylor, Texas.
my Eilers and my Eilers confused.
Taylor, Texas. They're trying to make the industrial hemp capital of the country, of Texas. There's a lot of farmland out there, and the Hemp Builders Association, I think, is headquartered in Taylor, Texas.
My bad.
Tyler, I think, is south. It's northeast, and it's where Meanie Neenie lives.
Right.
One of our favorites in the Grow House fam is Meanie Neenie.
Talk about an advocate for years.
Yeah. So, that's where we are. Before we start, I think that we should fill our lungs with some great and beautiful legal Texas hemp.
While we still can.
No. From 4K Farms, this is Grateful Chem. Give it a sniff. Tell me what you smell. Okay.
Oh, I love the art already.
Right, the art's incredible. Grateful Chem is the strain from 4K Farms.
Gassy fruit.
I'm like, gimme.
A blueberry gas. A boysenberry gas.
I can smell that berry.
On the back end. It's the very last thing you'll smell.
I don't know.
That back node.
Woo! That's good. Have you ever opened your mouth when you smell? You can taste it.
Whoa. You just blew my mind.
Yeah, man. I'm a super taster. I'm a super taster and a super smeller for a reason.
Let me try again.
I was big into the wine game in my 20s. But yeah,
Wow, I always say that smell that tastes like it smells, or that smells like it tastes, depending on what I'm doing, and that
you open your mouth and it just opens up all of the terps in your olfactory system.
Yeah,
so
it's amazing.
All right, cap that baby back
that's
up.
what we're smoking right now.
That's what we're smoking right now. And before we do, I thought I would change out my new filter.
But what are we smoking?
We're smoking. Okay, look at this. Look at this filter. Ow. It's in here tight. Okay, here we go. Look at that.
Creducus.
Thank you, Moose Labs. Not an ad. Not a promotion. But just a shout out to my friends at Moose Labs because they're unbelievable. It's brown. Okay? That's brown. That's a dirty one. And here's a clean one.
Yuck.
Yeah.
Definitely go easy on your lungs.
Go easy on your lungs. Go easy on the lungs.
And get yourself a Moose Lab mouthpiece.
Yeah, they're so cute. I love them. I got this one at the Glassmith on Tuesday night for the Glass Man Standing competition.
Incredible. Also, these are biodegradable.
Yes, they are. They are biodegradable. I actually put them in my houseplants when I'm smoking on my patio and I'm changing it out.
Living in harmony with nature.
Carbon neutrality.
No, I'm about it. I'm about that.
Would you like to rip this clean piece?
In honor of this podcast called Grow House, I think you should. Yes, so much going on. It feels like we're in dire straits, and we're going to be all right, though. And that's what this episode is about today.
That's right. Ooh. So good. I like the smoke filter. For me. It works really well.
That is good.
What's up? Shout out to all of our people on live stream, our Instagram live stream. If you don't follow us already on Instagram, please go over and do that because that's our main platform. That's where we hang out the most. It's Grow House TX. But yeah, the podcast, Grow House Podcast, throw us a follow, a subscribe, if you will. And at the very least, we hope we entertain you. And we hope that you learn something about cannabis, and specifically the cannabis fight in Texas.
100%. We like to pride ourselves not necessarily on leaders in the fight, but a hub for people to find out where the front line is. And I guess that in some ways is the front line.
Yeah.
As we put on events, and our cameras certainly have been following the story of cannabis in Texas for over 6 years now. But you tune into us, we're going to put you where you need to be to make sure your voice is heard.
Yep.
Especially come Monday.
Amen. So Monday, there is a massive hearing happening at the Texas State Capitol. It is the hearing, it's in the House, and it's the State Affairs Committee is considering SB 3 and considering HB 28. These are two hemp bills that are designed to kill the hemp industry in Texas. I don't think there's any other way to say it. There's, it's dramatic. We already warned you. We had a trigger warning at the beginning of this episode. There's gonna be some drama.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that? What do you make of that?
Well, the problem with politics is that there's always deal making, right? And so you have these bills in place, and what I've seen through the years in different sessions is that a bill comes out of the Senate or comes out of the House, and then they've got to vote on it. What can happen during that process is either changes to those bills, but I think what I want is for none of these bills to pass. Fucking strike them down. Like no concessions, no modifications. Well, let's pass the bill, but let's cross out the THC and allow for THCA. I mean, it's getting real nuanced real quick to make sure this bill is saving what we have of a cannabis economy in this state. But what I'm saying is leave it alone. How about you just don't pass either one of these bills and let us keep figuring it out and fighting it out. And as much bad actors as they like to say there are, marketing to kids and selling candy-looking cannabis products in the state, there are more good actors. And the good actors during this session, one thing that's been really positive is they're calling out the bad acting. And they're saying, we don't want to sell to kids. We don't want to be close to schools. We want to grow our plant, and bring it to market in the best way possible for Texans. So let them do it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Amen. Amen to that. House Bill 4242 was introduced in the last legislative session.
Yes.
In the 88th legislative session of Texas. This is 2 years ago. All right. And this bill, which is being supported by Hometown Hero, one of the largest hemp businesses here in Texas. They employ a lot of people. They supported this bill. They funded this bill. They are working with lawmakers to make their bill. I mean, that's what you do. You want to make your bill the best bill. But that one hasn't even gotten a sniff, it feels like, up at the Capitol. Just based on what we know, insiders telling us insider things. If you tell us something, then we're going to extrapolate that information. And it makes me wonder why the bill from Hometown Hero is not being supported, is not being heard. If we're talking about modifying bills, if we're talking about modifying what's already been written, why wouldn't we consider 4242 from one of the major players in the state? This is weird to me. If it comes down to money, why are we ignoring the work that Hometown Hero has done for the past 2 years?
Plus, they have lobby force this time.
They did last time too, but
Right.
Yeah, this time they do. Their lobbyist is named Mark. He is amazing. He is so just sharp as a tack. And he's ready for anything. There are a lot of great lobbyists up at the Capitol right now, a lot of great organizations with great intentions to, not kill hemp in Texas. But the fact is, we all have to ask ourselves why we, as a state, why the lawmakers, why the lobbyists aren't pushing House Bill 4242. It seems like people have their favorites, and it's weird because at the end of the day, we should be unified, right? We should be unified in support and, just support in all ways, right?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. This is a note for me.
Oh, dang. Okay. I was like,
yeah,
it was a math equation too. I'm like, oh, shit.
Which is, that I'm not doing math over here. Not a math guy. Everything you're saying is an absolute yes. It is bizarre that as the government is sort of half and half on what could happen with these bills that some sides of it have unleashed on us. Why is the unity on our side so discombobulated and seems a little infighty? You would think that we'd all be like, cool, we have different views on what this should be, but we're absolutely united on keeping at least like natural occurring parts of the plant fully open to the market.
Accessible, yes.
And it is very bizarre that we can't just have like multiple factions saying we're unified. And I feel like there's a little bit of tact from the enemy side, not to call them enemies, but from the enemy.
I mean, we're in a war here. There's no question.
Right. We're not. Yeah. It's
metaphorical war.
Metaphorical. But it's bizarre, and it seems like it's a bit of a tact to keep us
from being effective.
Divided, to keep us divided.
Absolutely. House divided. Abraham Lincoln said it best, and I'm not going to go ahead and try to quote him right now. I'm just going to give him a shout out. A house divided will never stand, I believe, is the phrase that we need to remember and we need to hold in our hearts. If you are for liberty, if you are for freedom in Texas, don't be distracted, right? Don't be distracted. If you are for freedom and liberty in Texas, then what you should know is that the hemp industry is being attacked. I'm going to just pause, okay? Because that's a fact. Hemp is a federally legal plant, And it's legal in Texas too. Legal to grow it and, legal to extract goodness from the plant. Because of, silly, nonsensical, and, just regulation made with ulterior motives, our hemp industry in the state has been blessed with the opportunity to grow and expand and to get more innovative and to get more scientific and to get more research based and to learn to do things. I mean, listen, this is a plant. Breeding is real. Breeding is a science. And we have farmers in this state that have learned or who have bred a hemp chemovar that is able to express high percentages of THCA. We're not, I mean, the rule is THC. If we can breed something different from a plant that is pleasing to the consumer and a beautiful thing, then what's wrong with that? They didn't think we could do that. And so they're like, we thought you were going to grow this for rope. It's like, that's BS.
Yes.
That's BS.
And I want to tack on to something you're saying right there, because you have these politicians and one of their pulpit sentences, all of them across all the anti-hemp movement, they all say, this was a gross action on our part to take what was legal and to manipulate the plant to therefore have cannabinoids outside the law. They say we skirted a loophole. We found a loophole and we exploited it. Well, here's my suggestion. If you're going to say that the Farm Bill was passed specifically for this one thing, stop attacking the cannabinoid side of hemp and start attacking the real problem here, the lack of economy for what the Farm Bill was passed for. Why don't you actually put action to that versus attacking this side of it?
What do you mean by that?
Dan Patrick, wouldn't it be cool if you were like, hey, there's a lot of this gray stuff that's happening. I'm using his language, that's happening with the plant and we're understanding that
he doesn't call it the plant. Let's make no mistake, he doesn't call it the plant. But sorry, go ahead.
with hemp, and we're seeing this legal market because there's no laws around it, so you're allowed to do it, grow up. But what happened to the spirit of the Farm Bill, which was what he's claiming is that he's, wants to go back to the spirit of the Farm Bill, which is for industrial hemp. Well, I don't see him lobbying at his pulpit during election time, or I don't see him talking to the American people about what the promise of that plant is. He clearly has no idea what the plant is and what it can do, and he's just trying to stop one part of it versus, dude, you've got the opportunity to bring industrial hemp into Texas or to start lobbying for it as a way to boost our farmers and our economy. Like, lobby for it on the side that you want it for versus trying to stop this one side that it's minimal. Does that make sense?
It does. I hear you. He's putting a lot of energy into killing it when he could be putting the energy into furthering the law or making the laws that we have even better and strengthening the opportunities for farmers in Texas to grow industrial. And I think what you're also referring to is the capital, the massive capital outlay that it takes to build up an industrial hemp infrastructure.
Yes.
If we're talking about bioplastics, who's going to make those bioplastics? How do you make them? And what machinery do you need to make them? Hemp decortication has been, just based on our conversations with the guys from Hemp Vision Technologies, years ago in Colorado, these guys Frankensteined their own hemp decorticator because that was the number one challenge for industrial hemp in America. They took it away from us. We were building it up, but they took it away from us. So we're behind 100 years in machinery, a thing that does the job. We're also conceptual, but you've got to peel back the onion and just, take it down to its most simple issues and challenges here. And what we're talking about with industrial hemp is that nobody has invested in Texas. Well, not nobody. There's Panda Biotech.
Well, yes.
Thank you, Panda Biotech. And if there are a few groups that are investing in Texas, but I think that's your point with Dan Patrick. It's like, why wouldn't you explore this whole another beautiful world that, under your watch, you legalized this? Be the hero. Dan, Kimberly Guilfoyle here, okay, to tell you that you can still wake up and you can still be a good dude and a human and a good Texan if you backed off and you tried to understand and you maybe read, considered additional bills. SB3 sucks. You know it. I know it. Bob Dole knows it. We all know it. It sucks. HB 28, not much better. Not much better. What HB 28 does is it doesn't allow inhalables or edibles. So, okay, we're going to take away our inhalables and our edibles. Oh, yeah, that's a good bill. No, that's not. And for those groups who are out lobbying hard for concessions, allow me to remind you that we are not acting illegally when we make edibles with fully federally compliant hemp products and byproducts. And if we are following the law, then we should not have to make concessions. Okay, they gave it to us. We're not going to backslide because you know what happens when we backslide. It's like a lasso. We're in Texas, man. We're in Texas. That lasso, it gets you, and you're like, whoa. You get yanked.
Yes.
If you don't try to get out of that lasso, and this is just me tapping into my goat self right now. Okay. Come on, we're fooling ourselves. We're fooling ourselves if we think that, any sort of backslide is a good thing. We are acting under the law. This is legal. OMG, this is legally grown hemp. I have the COAs. I have the paperwork. Step off.
Careful slamming.
Oh, sorry. So obviously we'll be testifying on Monday to vote no. Please vote no on SB3 and HB 28.
Yeah, and I think I just wanted to tack on. You definitely helped me get my thought out. Thank you.
No, it's okay.
But it's like the government the main thing is in Texas is, look, we could make hemp for housing, hemp for bioplastics. We just have no idea what genetics work, and we're financially way behind on the investment in that. And you're sitting here saying we skirted a loophole and this is bad. Well, why don't you advocate for farmers that could grow with a government subsidized crop hemp to see what genetics work? Why don't you pay farmers to do the right thing? That's all.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's, very, I guess, un-Texan to think that the government should pay the people, and that the people should pay the government for that matter. We have a business relationship where you do our bidding, and that's what it comes down to. And I think we've gotten away from that. We've definitely gotten away from that. And what the people would ask for is that we support the farmers. I know that.
Yes.
And what you're saying is what the people want. We don't have a hemp dispensary. I mean, people have millions and millions on the line. We have a service company that is called Grow House Media, and we service the cannabis industry. We're video production, and media and marketing and all those things. And we're so blessed. And if this bill goes to pass, if either one of these bills passes, business is severely impacted for two of those clients. For all of our clients, really. I mean, our two, most important, our biggest, our best. And then we've got so many projects that are in the works that are, just would fall apart, in addition to all of our events. I mean, we do events. We throw hella events.
We throw a hemp cup celebrating farmers growing this in the state of Texas. And that also is, it's a unifying thing. We're not just celebrating the cannabinoidal side of hemp too. I mean, we are celebrating all of hemp being grown in Texas. And if these are the farmers growing it, then we need to rally around it.
Oh my God.
I did want to say that I got the Texas Cannabis Policy Center's email yesterday, and I read it, and I don't remember the exact number, but I think it's 67% in a very recent poll. In terms of lay off hemp, let us have cannabis, legalize it. It's 67% of Texans in a most recent poll. So if we could vote on propositions, this would have passed a long time ago.
Dude. Yes.
And it's just crazy that we're regulating this tiny little part of it. And and that regulation starts Monday, as Liz just said. Ooh. And to make your voice heard, there's many ways to do it, but Monday is a big chance for us. And what I've seen a lot of different groups that are somewhat united in hemp, we are asking for numbers.
Yes.
There were 200 people that came for Senate Bill 3 hearing. We need more.
Let's get 750.
Yeah.
At least 420. Seriously, what? Give me a break. Companies like the Haze Connect. Haze Connect is one of our clients. We love them very much. And they are running a federally legal and state legal and compliant hemp business with premium hemp products. They are closing their office on Monday, and their entire team is coming to the Capitol.
That's what we need. You heard?
Voices and bodies. You don't have to testify if you come to the Capitol. You know why? It's kind of like you want to go to your, you're not playing in the big game, but you've got your friends, you got your team, and you got to get out there and you got to support your team. You got to be there. You don't just want to watch it on TV. That is really what this is. That is what this is. Things aren't too far gone. We can make a very, very big impact, and what will be, will be. But this is our time right now to make sure that the world knows that Texans are for Texans. All right? We're not for government, and we're not for this bullshit government control that's happening right now. Oh, you're talking to me. Hey, again, Kimberly Guilfoyle here, and if y'all don't know what I'm talking about, when I got to meet with Lieutenant Governor a couple years ago, I went to one of his talks, and I asked him directly, what's it going to take for you to change your mind on cannabis in Texas? That's my question. What's it going to take for you? And, I know my stuff. I knew that would catch him off guard. But what I didn't know would catch him off guard is his lust. Hello. He looked at me and he was like, oh, you look like Kimberly Guilfoyle. And if he had hair, he would have done that. And I had hair, and so I said, oh. And I also wore a fox. I was wearing a fox fur, vintage fox. So, if you want to hate me, fine. But I got to dress the part. And I was like, oh, thank you. So what's it going to take? And I was wearing a hat. And so then I launched into my question. So we had that moment. And so what I'm just saying, and what I'm asking for is, a little bit of respect, and, bring that respect when you come out on Monday.
Yeah.
Right? Bring that respect.
Yeah. I mean, now is the time to make the best part of our community heard, which is, we're got differences of opinion. We're all, we probably look very different from person to person, but it is the greatest representation of Texans right now. There's no other community. There's no other contributing business community, and there's no other people like this community in Texas. And there isn't one, not one on any subject, whether it's government or fun. There's no one united like this. And it's crazy that we get none of, we have all of the yes for cannabis in Texas, and the government is all no. It's never been so clear and divided. The House is filled with good people, as our good friend Aaron Owens says, and they do listen in a little bit of a different way. I think even your call yesterday, Liz called all of her representatives. It was a live stream. She did awesome. I could hear it from the other room as I was editing. But the House, I think they're a little bit more open and less decided. So it is, the fate of this thing is still, we're still all right. We still have time.
We do still have time. I mean, come on. Why do you wake up in the morning? Seriously, don't get out of bed if you don't think that we still have time.
Yeah.
Seriously, do yourself a favor, because that is the most depressing way to think about it. As long as we are our eyes open in the morning, we have time to make a difference.
Yeah. And
to change some, to change some hearts, and that's what it's about too. So there are great people in the House and there are great people in the Senate. And I do want to say, like, there's absolutely no room for anything but civil discourse. I mean, here we are in our podcast. Like, you've tapped into this voluntarily. All right, trigger warning. Sometimes we cuss and, say some mean things and get emotional. But the fact is, when you're at the Capitol and when you're addressing, our lawmakers, our elected officials, you got to come correct. I certainly came correct when we got to meet with Dan Patrick. I met my state senator, Donna Campbell. And I also, I met her a couple times. And then Greg Abbott, who's got so much swag, that man. At the time, I think he believed that cannabis was decriminalized in Texas. It was far off his radar. So, on Monday and on any day and on any moment that you address your elected officials, you want to come correct and be kind, and they're human. And my calls yesterday were to the State Affairs Committee. And both hemp bills will be heard in that committee on Monday morning at 8 a.m. So, hello. Like, you want to be nice. You want to be like, hey, who's answering the phone? Or if nobody answered, you leave a message. I mean, you are smiling and dialing. Representative Darby had the sweetest voice on his voicemail. Okay. And I'm hoping and praying, Representative Darby, that you just hear us out. You hear us out because, there's also just this sweet Texas accent, and that makes you feel like, oh no, because of, the war on drugs and cannabis and good people not wanting to, have any bad things in their community, not really understanding, about just the goodness of cannabis and hemp. So be respectful and send your love and call your lawmakers. You have to call your lawmakers today.
Yes.
Before 5.
Call your lawmakers today before 5. Go. Oh.
Sorry, the committee. I meant the committee. Your lawmakers, but the committee.
Yes, the committee. And how do we find that? What was your path yesterday when you were calling, to get that information and to get those numbers?
I forgot that there's a dog under my feet. There's a Yodi. Here's what you do to find those numbers. You go online and you can go to the texas.gov, texasstatecapital.gov. Seriously, Google the Texas Capitol website. And it's the State Affairs Committee. There's a lot of information on social media. So if you follow the Texas Business Council, the Texas Hemp Business Council, you'll get that information. If you follow the Texas Hemp Coalition, you'll get that information. Texas Cannabis Policy Center, Texas Cannabis Collective, shout out.
That info is out there.
It's out there.
And you can, so
Grow House TX.
Yes, who is this committee watch Liz's live stream and just watch what she did and repeat that pattern.
I deleted it.
It's been deleted.
But I'm going to put up a video at the top.
Okay, well, watch that. And just, guys, call. We can't express just now is the time, this Friday is the time, and Monday is the time, and after Monday, we need to hammer these people with hemp love. And I believe the House will hear us. I believe that this will make a difference. I think that there are a lot of these people. Remember, a House of Representative probably doesn't have big time political wishes. They're so excited that they got elected in their district in Texas, and so they know a lot. They're people of the streets. There's no way that these people don't have friends in the game. Well, shit, my cousin Roy's got one of these dang dispensaries, and he's finally making something of himself. That story, it is mathematically impossible that that's not reality, given the popularity of this plant in this state. These people have been affected by it one way or the other. Well, shit, my grandma started taking this THCA, CBN gummy for sleep, and she is conked out by 7 and doesn't wake up till 8 a.m. That is real.
That's real.
And we need to lean on that side of their hearts to say, hey, we are trying to provide goodness for community, goodness for business in this state, and economic growth, and explore what this plant can do and keep it alive as we're still in these baby stages of what the power of this plant is.
Yes, amen. And we have to be good representatives of the plant, peaceful people, loving people, respectful people, You know, you can have your conversations and you can have your podcasts, you know, hell yeah, God bless freedom of speech. But when you're there, you want to look good, you want to sound good, you want to have good thoughts and be sending good energy. You know, don't walk around like a grumpy grouch. You know, and if you have a bad feeling in your stomach, you know, interrogate that. What is that about? You know, figure it out. I'm just,
hey,
know,
have a meditation sesh.
do it. It's the Capitol's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And you know, go there. Even if you're not testifying, again, go there and support the people who are, and register your opposition for HB 28 and SB 3. Register your opposition in the kiosk. Your favorite word.
I love that word.
That's your favorite word, Patrick. That's Patrick's favorite word, everyone. So if you see him, just whisper in his ear, kiosk.
I had a very bad experiences when kiosks first started becoming a working thing. The stand-in robotic computer. I had a very bad experience, and I haven't shaken it off. So when you say kiosk to me, it just triggers. It's my trigger. I was gonna say, yes. What does registering your vote mean? I want to go, but I don't really want to stand in front of people, and I can't be there all day. Yes. So what does that mean? You show up and you register your vote. It means that these people have a record that you physically were there, and that while you didn't have time with the 700 people who showed up to give their 2-minute appeal,
750.
750. We're aiming for 750 people.
Yes.
These are hypotheticals.
This
but
is Price is Right
when
now.
the 1,000 people who show up on Monday to give their 2-minute spiel, and it takes 3 days for them to hear it all, and that could happen, and we should make that happen. But if you can't participate in that because you got fish to fry, then you go to that kiosk and it says, I was here. Here's my submitted report. Here's my thoughts on it. You can give all of that right there at that dang old kiosk. And I'm telling you, it matters, especially in the House. Like I said, these are people of the streets. Their political aspirations aren't necessarily anything more than where they are, and that means representing their hometown, their home district, and that puts them. They're like us.
Yes.
The House of Representatives truly is like us.
us.
If you're a senator, if you're a senator to
like
me,
us.
yeah. Well, they are.
Just saying.
It's an aspirational position, right? Just think about it.
Yeah.
You have to be a real type of person to get that Senate seat, and it's typically a super professional in the town, lawyers, doctors, and such.
Yes.
And so the House is like, shit, I'm a realtor, but I think I could make a run at this politics here, and I want to affect this part of my community. So I'm going to become a House of Representatives. That's where that kernel of the dream starts. It's people like you and me saying, well, shit, I could do that. Yeah. And that's what makes this appeal so fun and so fresh and so not like what we just went through with the Senate. We started with the hardest bully to go and fight on the schoolyard ground. These are not bullies. These are people who watch the fight and say, well, shit, the people really don't seem to like that bully, so let's rally around those people. And that is where we're at, and I can't express enough how showing up and representing yourself, even if it's just to fill your dang old kiosk out.
Yes.
Step up to the kiosk or step up to the mic. You got to go to the Capitol on Monday.
I love it. Didn't we at one point in time identify one of your more malevolent doppelgangers as Pat Kiosk?
Yes.
One of your evil twin.
Yes, when I'm having
Pat Kiosk when he's having a bad day. But that's a great, I'm really glad that you said that. But it's really important to remember that if you are testifying, and so you step up to the kiosk, you register your opposition, no doubt, we're not playing around. We register our opposition, and then it'll ask you, are you testifying in person? And that's when you say yes or no. And if you say yes, there you go, you're on the list. You can wait. You wait. And Patrick and I waited, I think, until it was like 2:45 or something, maybe 1:45.
And there were maybe 30 of us.
Yeah, there were maybe 30.
We need 100 of us.
Dude, that was crazy. That's so funny. And at the time too, Austin was like, oh my God, I can't believe there's so many people here.
Austin Zamhariri.
Yes, Austin Zamhariri. Shout out. We love you so much. But anyway, he was looking around in the what was it? It's the 87th legislative session, I guess 4 years ago. And he was like, dang, there's so many people here. And at that point in time, that late at night, there weren't 30, there were maybe 15 or something. But the other guys had, gotten to testify, but we were still waiting. We're like, dang, that's pretty, wow, okay, cool. This is a lot of people. This feels special to us because it doesn't feel like a lot of people, and man, I get it.
I do too.
I get it.
So I was looking at our Instagram.
Yeah, I know. There's some binoculars right there, I noticed. And we take our binoculars and we can, read your messages. Sorry. But yeah, so if you're there though, and if you testify, get ready, just be comfortable. Don't bring a pillow or a blanket or anything like that. We're adults. This isn't preschool. I'm just being real. I'm being straight with you. You want to come correct. So no pillows, no blankets, neck pillows included. Maybe it makes me a bitch, but I say no, because we are here to do a job. We're not here to take a nap. Second of all, when you do testify, make sure that you're ready to answer questions, because they do ask questions. Even though the House are, folks who, just like you and me, there are also people in the House who do have political aspirations. What's funny is Jasmine Crockett was a representative that was sitting on the committee that was hearing the decrim bill in the 87th session. And everyone was tired. And she was great. She was very polite. But she had different political aspirations, to go and be in D.C. But so you never know. I mean, do your homework, right? Like, do your homework. Yesterday, I called the committee.
Yes.
And I did it all in 30 minutes, but that's only because I was chatty. You could do it in 15. But I didn't do research on these people before I called. Straight up. Like, I did not do research. And it's okay, but it's also like, whoa, I definitely felt like I was like, back, like, oh shit, maybe I should know if these people support it or not, so I could be like, hi, my name's Liz, and I know that, Representative Hernandez does not support these bills, and we're happy about that, thank you so much, and I just want to register my opposition. Or I know that Representative Darby supports these bills because he's a co-author, but I don't know that, right? I didn't know that. I didn't read. So that's a suggestion too. Just do a quick search when you go. I mean, the State Affairs Committee, it's one page that you need to go on, and then you can click and you get their phone numbers and you just freaking call them. And it's not that big a deal, but it's so important, and it is a big deal. So if you have friends or family who don't really, who can help.
I was just imagining it is a big deal, because think about it this way. What if it's like, dude, it's 500 to 1 House Representative Darby for the district calls where people are like, I'm in your district and I'm saying, don't do this. It's like 500 to 1, 100 to 1, whatever it is. If the statistic is so far out of balance, that makes a difference.
Yeah,
they're not going to be like, well, shit, I'm still going to stand my ground here. And, they're going to hear you, and they're going to be persuaded. We've got work to do. I think, we've met our House of Representative, our rep, Carrie Isaac.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
she was very, this is way early, first day of session when we met her in her office.
I'm smoking to you, Carrie, and I'm smoking to your wisdom right now. Sorry.
No, that's all good. Smoke to that. She played very, very political, very peaceful, very like, oh, I don't think that bill's got too much, heat on it and blah. She was middle of the road. But now I'm asking you, Carrie, where do you stand on this? And I need you to tell me it's to strike it down. I stand against it. And I'm asking my representative for it. And that's going to be my call to her next week. Before you vote on this, before it comes to you, you have looked me in the eyes and said, you're still thinking about it, but you don't think it's got a lot of steam. Well, guess what? The heat is on. The steam has now filled the room, and we're in a sauna. And you got to tell me, are you for it or against it? And if you're not against it, well, get out of it. I don't know. I don't know how to end that.
Nellies, it's getting hot in her. It's getting hot in her. It is, though. That's politics, though. That's the game that you play. Isn't it funny how it's uncomfortable for us because we're not politicians? Mm-hmm. It's like we want to, we need to come correct. We need to be respectful, they are respectful, but they're playing a game.
Yes.
As well. We need to remember that they're playing a game. So we need to just like stay vigilant and be shrewd, And
What does shrewd mean?
shrewd means, I think, you've been around the block and you've got experience and you're carved. And a shrewd business person is looking at all the angles, and it's not negative, it's not positive, it's a neutral. I think it's a positive. Honestly, it is a positive.
But isn't?
But it kind of, there is a little bit of like a shrewd.
Oh,
shrewd.
Well, I think it gets.
You gotta be shrewd.
Yeah, I think it's
but keep your claws in.
I think two things. One, yes, it is a positive word, actually. And I ask because in my entire life, this word's always kind of tripped me up. It is the most negative sounding positive word. He's a shrewd businessman. Oh, fuck, I don't want to fuck with him. No, you do. He's good. I mean, he's gonna win the deal for you. But
yeah.
I think it also gets confused with a shrewd.
A shrew
can be called, like, it's like a word for a bitch, right? Like, dude. Oh, that person's a bitch, dude. It's a shrew.
No.
Taming of the Shrewd. Taming of the Shrewd.
Taming of the Shrew. Shrew. It's, yes.
I'm an idiot.
No, it's fine. But that's definitely what I was going to say.
But maybe
that's a negative. A shrew is a woman. A shrewish woman is uncontrollable. And I don't know if you would say a shrew is wise. So a shrewd business person, I think of wise, I don't know. We need to pick that apart. Etymology, huh?
Join us on Etymology Talk. Fridays at 10 a.m., where we take a word that has a lot of beef on it.
A lot of stank on it.
And we cook that beef.
We pick it apart. We sniff it, and then we smoke it. But yeah, okay. So shrewd. Anyway, so Carrie Isaac is just awesome. We love her. She is our representative. We support you, Carrie. And we are asking you to vote no on SB3 and HB 28 if you do get to sniff it. Even if you do get to sniff it. We're hoping it doesn't make it out of the committee. I did tell some of those, the I don't know if they're called interns or pages or what, but when you call the Capitol and you call Carrie Isaac's office, for instance, I'm going to call her at lunch today.
I'm going to call her too.
Yeah, let's call her.
Let's call her right now.
We'll send her a note. Yeah, we should call her right now.
I'll find her number.
Yeah, perfect. So, but what, like, we need to, I forgot where I was going.
Sorry, hon.
Stone a moment. No, it's okay. It's okay. She's awesome. She is our representative in New Braunfels. And I believe that she believes in Texas. I also believe that she doesn't want kids to have access to this stuff, and neither do we. And she wants to regulate this stuff, and so do we. So I feel like we are on the same side.
You want me to call her Capitol address?
Yeah, call her Capitol number, the 463 number. Yep. Call and then hits a speaker.
A speaker?
A speaker phone. We're going to make this call-in show.
Hello, Representative Isaac's office. This is Ethan. How can I help you?
Hey, Ethan. My name is Liz Groh, and I'm from New Braunfels, Texas. I'm a constituent of Carrie Isaacs, and I wanted to register my opposition to SB 3 and HB 28. Those are being heard in the State Affairs Committee in the House on Monday, and we hope it doesn't make it out of committee. But if it does, please let Miss Isaac know that we are constituents and we say no. This is bad for Texas. It'll kill 50,000 jobs and push a number of Texans into the black market. So we don't want to support the cartels. So I just wanted to just leave that message.
Yes, ma'am. Is HB, you said 28, is that the companion bill of the Senate one? Are they the same?
Yeah, if they're being heard at the same time, the HB 28 would eliminate inhalables and edibles, which is just unacceptable. It's just unacceptable. Okay. So, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Things can change in committee. The bill could end up looking completely different, but where things stand right now, Representative Isaac does not support the ban.
Woo! Yes! Oh, thank you. Amazing. Oh my gosh. Amazing. I love her. Give her a hug for us, okay?
All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Yes!
That's what it's about.
That was awesome.
See, and I heard Liz. So we just got positive feedback that Carrie Isaac is like, no, we ain't gonna do that.
That stinks.
Good
It's
on you, Carrie.
stinky. Carrie smells good. Okay, she's put together. Okay, she's a professional woman. She doesn't like stinky things, and she doesn't like SB3 and HB28. And I want to make that shirt, and I want to wear it on Monday. Like a fangirl. I am so proud. Because our senator. Senator Donna Campbell does support SB3. She is friends with Dan Patrick. They campaign together.
But there you go. And I
I
heard Liz's yesterday. She called, and there were a couple of these clerks who were like, "Hey, thank you for calling. We are against this bill." And one girl was like, "I feel you, dog," basically.
Yes. She's like, listen, you're not in this alone.
Yes. And that's what I'm saying is like you're sitting there, if you're stewing in your own poo of negativity about what's going down, get active, dude. It is invigorating. We just called our representative's office, and she stands by her word that she told us at the beginning of session. Cannabinoids are not going to get fucking regulated.
She's like, no. And she was very cool about it. She's like, no, because she's wise. And she is a shrewd politician, because I guess that's what you are when you're a lawmaker. You're a politician, and she's listening to her constituents, and I'm so excited. That makes me so happy, and who's gonna get my vote?
Carrie Isaac,
and we'll put a sign in our yard. How about that? That's how it works.
Carrie Isaac. Sorry, I was singing.
I love that. Can we do her campaign? Can we be your campaign managers, please?
Carrie.
Oh my God,
we stand with you, and
so
we want to
far.
make it clear that we will make a jingle/video commercial for your next campaign. We will make it the biggest earworm that everyone will only vote for you.
I can't get that earworm that you just made on the spot out of my ear.
All I did was take Reading Rainbow, and do Carrie Isaac.
I love that.
I'll vote for Carrie Isaac.
Ways to grow, things to know.
And ways to vote. It's only Carrie.
That's amazing. Oh, amazing.
It's 2 hours of us doing
know.
bullshit karaoke.
That's the podcast, though. Don't you want to subscribe? Why wouldn't you subscribe? No, really. I love these conversations.
Get invigorated.
Cherish these conversations, long form. Thank you for all your insights today. And I feel more hopeful.
Oh.
Right?
Right. Well, we know for a fact Carrie Isaac stands with us. That's one. And the general tone in which I heard all of the people who picked up the phone for yesterday, for Liz. I was in the other room editing, but I then took one ear off so I could hear.
Because it was wild.
But it was positive. It wasn't like negative being, okay, I'll tell him. Thank you. Anything else? Great. It wasn't that. They hung on a bit. And these people are taking calls all damn day.
That's why I'm trying to cut this video. That's why I took the live stream down, because it was 30 minutes. I mean, a wild 30 minutes. I enjoyed myself. But I wanted to cut it down to the best bits, like the most hopeful bits, right? From the people on the other line. You get nervous. You're calling the government. This is literally, for a lot of people, they believe this is life or death.
You get nervous, drink it, don't drink a Nervesa, all right?
Don't drink a Nervesa. I don't know. Maybe have a beer if you need a beer before calling them. Who cares? Nobody's judging you. Smoke a little joint. Nobody's judging you. Do what you need to do. Call them, have your notes, and just, be very clear. I want to register my opposition. This is who I am. And hasta la vista, baby. You don't have to say any more than that, really. But if you testify, be ready for questions. If you testify, be ready to back up any facts that you give. Be ready for them to be like, I'm sorry, excuse me, ma'am, are you a doctor? When you want to be like, are you a, fill in the blank in your mind. But you don't have to be like that. You can just be like, no, I'm not a doctor. And neither are you. And neither are any of the authors of the bill.
Yes.
And that's just factual. So moving on, nobody has died because of cannabis. They're rolling out, they're rolling out all the stops. They are recruiting mothers, you guys. They're recruiting mothers in Facebook groups. They're going into mom Facebook groups and saying, hey, has anybody experienced this? Does anybody have kids who have a problem with this? You know, they're actively going out and asking. And it's like, you know, kids and teens, there are a lot of issues out there. And, you know, I think we should focus on fentanyl first and foremost. And I think we should focus on what's really happening and real deaths. And also, I think SAs, words that you can't use on YouTube. You probably can't say fentanyl either, but whatever. You know, you can't, let's focus on the things that are really hurting our kids. Let's focus on our education system. Let's not focus on cannabis. Let's focus on regulation and being the best republic that we can be.
My kid's hooked on prescription narcotics. He's going out and getting Xanax illegally versus, my kid is smoking a lot of weed.
Yeah.
If that's what we're talking about here, people, get lost.
But it's not. There are products on the market. You know, you can't deny there are products on the market that are shit, that are completely shit, that are poison.
I'm speaking at the high level of like, you want to get into the numbers about what's really really screwed up? It's the legal shit.
Yeah. It's the legal shit. It is the legal shit. And it's ruining lives.
I don't know what this is.
But what about, I don't know, but I like it. It's like a thing. But, you know, the thing is, like, we've got to protect our kids. Our little Texans. You know, nothing's more important than our kids. And I'm a mom. You know, Patrick's a stepdad. And, you know, we get it. And we are asking for regulation. There are better bills that would introduce better regulation. You know, this conversation's not like all or nothing. You know, it's we need a bill that works and that's common sense for Texans, period. You know, the another one of the opponents to the hemp industry, I guess in Texas, is the teacup program, medical marijuana, our MMJ program here in Texas. You know, there are issues there that need to be dealt with, but we're not talking about those issues right now. Those issues shouldn't matter to us, but they do matter because I think they are one of the proponents of killing the hemp industry in Texas. So I'm just wanted to throw that out there as well. You know, just a recognition of we do have a legal cannabis program here in Texas. It is called the Teacup program, and Patrick and I have our prescriptions. It's woefully inadequate. The products aren't great, and there's no flower. And for me, that's just kind of like that's a deal breaker. Flower is the most effective way to administer the medicine, right? It's the fastest onset, and it is it's just. You know, it's not the healthiest because, hey, man, you're combusting something. Anytime you combust something and inhale it, bada bing, bada boom. But, you know, we're using filters and we're doing what we do. And I like the effects of Grateful Chem on my brain and heart more than I like the effects of like a Xanax. Right? So that's what we're talking about here. There's a battle going on there.
Yeah. The history of this thing is smoking weed. Like, let's just not forget that. The history of this thing is smoking weed. Yep. Don't be on the wrong side of history. It's just that simple. And
Amen.
I feel really good about what we've done today. If we haven't encouraged you to just call your dang reps, be there Monday, and then past Monday, keep knocking on the doors when this thing goes to vote.
Yes.
And we'll know more then. Like, well, at least they're going to vote on it, but if they're going to vote on it, let's at least get it amended so that if it passes, if they don't just strike it out into oblivion, which is what I hope they do, at least these aspects of our industry are protected. Guys, this is it. I mean, we are on top of the mountain now.
Yes,
and we have been there together, and numbers matter, activation matters, and just calling your representative will make you feel invigorated, as it did today. We called Carrie Isaac. She's with us.
She's with us.
It's one we know that's with us, and
Yes.
she's from New Braunfels, a small conservative town. That is hope. Think about the other conservative towns and the people just like Carrie who are elected. It means there are more of us
That's right.
than there are of them, and we need to show it.
Amen. And I think it's important to note that Carrie is a Republican. Okay? It is a small town in Texas. And she is a Republican, and she's got our vote and our support because she listens to her constituents despite what she's hearing, from people who oppose it. So I think on that note, sayonara. Have a great day and do what you can to help save Texas hemp and the Texas hemp industry.
Lead with love, and see you Monday.
Amen.